Hey guys, Mare11 here, back with another Rune tutorial for Summoner's War. Now in the last video, Noshi22 Gaming commented that we should do the dragons. He's probably the only person who has them, who subscribed to me. But anyway, let's get right into this. Zeros. Firebolt. Shoots a fire arrow at the enemy. Rain of Fire. Burns enemies with a fire shower and inflicts continuous damage for 3 turns with a 25% chance for each attack. Fiery Breath. Attacks all enemies with a fiery breath and puts their skills on cooldown. Leader skill. Increases the attack power of all ally monsters by 33%. With Zeros, Fatal Blade, Rage Blade, both the exact same with attack percent, crit damage percent, attack percent on slots 2, 4, 6. Can go Despair Blade if you want. I don't see a point, but it is possible because he has 2 AoEs. Despair Blade would be attack percent, crit damage percent, attack percent on slots 2, 4, 6. Use him pretty much anywhere you can because he's just a broken one. People say he's one of the best Nat 5s. I have to agree with that, to be honest. It's one of the best attackers in the game, I'd say. Because he puts skills on cooldown, you could technically go a focus set on him, but I wouldn't recommend it, because that's just kind of a bonus if it works. If you want, you could just try and get some accuracy subsets. Anyway, moving on to Varad. Varad actually got a buff, not in the last patch notes, but I think in the patch notes before, so he's actually a lot better now. Ice Bolt. Shoots an ice arrow at the enemy. Snowstorm. Attacks all enemies with a storm of ice, dealing damage proportionate to your defense, and freezing them for 1 turn with a 60% chance. Absolute Zero. Attacks all enemies with a gust of freezing wind, dealing damage proportionate to your defense, and setting the enemy's attack bar to 0. Additionally, the enemies are frozen for 1 turn. Leader skill. Increases the HP of all ally monsters by 33%. Vrad, because both these skills scale on defense, it's best to go for a Rage Blade, maybe a Rage Guard, with defense percent, crit damage percent, defense percent on slots 2, 4, 6. But I have to say, with the Rage Guard build, you would need a lot of crit rate subs to try and get him up to the damage you want. So the most recommended one would be a Rage Blade build. You could go maybe Despair Focus if you wanted, because once again, 2 AoEs, he freezes on both skills and sets attack bar to 0. You can improve that with a stun on both skills, so there's a chance to stun and to freeze. But once again, natural 5 stars. I don't see a point in putting Despair on them unless there's a huge purpose to it. But if you were to go to Despair, say a Despair Focus build, you could go defense percent, accuracy percent. Or if you're using them as a utility because of Despair, you could go speed, defense, accuracy percent on slots 2, 4, 6. Yeah, you can use him anywhere as well. He's a very good monster. Anyway, moving on to Jameer. Thunderbolt. Shoots a lightning arrow at the enemy. Thunderbreak. Inflicts damage proportionate to the target's max HP, and randomly attacks other enemies 2 times, with 20% of the damage. Additionally, the attack has 40% chance to decrease the enemy's attack power for 2 turns. Illusion of Time. All ally skills will become instantly available. Illusion of Time will not be affected by cooldown, reducing, or increasing skills. Leader skill increases the attack speed of all ally monsters by 24%. Now, he's actually the only support dragon out of all of the dragons. If you have him, you can use him, but at the current moment, the Wind Penguin, is actually a low-level version of him. Some people argue that Wind Penguin is still better, but it's a Nat 5. If you get a Nat 5, you might as well use it. And because he's the only support one, you can go a Swift Energy or a Swift Guard build with, or maybe, yeah, so Swift Energy or Guard instead of Energy would be speed, HP %, or defense % on slots 2, 4, 6. Like I stressed yesterday in my Neostone Agent build, you need to have at least 1 HP or they get too squishy because of the lack of HP. Because all it takes is some monster to ignore the defense. Maybe, I don't know, probably not in this case, but a Copper maybe. The Wind. Living Armor. All he has to do is ignore the defense with his third skill, and because you don't have enough HP, you're probably going to die. But I see more potential in a Violent Energy or a Violent Guard build, once again with speed, HP %, or a defense % on slots 2, 4, 6. Because Violent, you're mainly going to be using these two skills. So, use Violent, try and get those extra turns so you can reuse Illusion of Time. Because it's not affected by skill reduction cooltimes. So the best option for you would to be have a Violent build and up his attack bar so he gets multiple turns. Anyway, yeah, you can use this one anywhere as well. But situations depend and change, depending where you use this one. Anyway, moving on to Zerath. If you have this one, you're a god and have got either a lot of money to spend on the game, or you're just extremely lucky. Holy Bolt. Shoots a light arrow at the enemy. Holy Light calls upon the holy power of light, healing all allies by 15% of their HP, and also removing 2 harmful effects from each ally. Armageddon sacrifices half your current HP to deal damage to all enemies. Damage is proportionate to your sacrificed HP. Leader skill increases the critical rate of all ally monsters by 24%. Instantly, because I see HP, and this sacrifices HP, and because all the dragons except for for Jameer are all basically attackers, because they scale on their attack power. Well, attack, there was a Varad's defense, this one's HP. You can go Rage Blade build, Rage Energy, with HP %, crit damage %, HP % on slots 2, 4, 6. Because you want that more HP, so because sacrifice half your HP, then because you've got such high HP. Because look at his base HP, 1,000. So I'm gonna give up on that. But he's got one of the higher HPs out of all the dragons. Yeah, he actually does have the highest. But he's a HP type. Just by that, you know you need to get a lot more HP, because I think the potential is that you could probably double his HP, and then that is a lot of damage that you'll be dealing. I don't know why you would, but you could technically go kind of more support build if you want to make use of this heal. I don't see a point. I'd rather go a Rage Blade, Rage Energy, and the heal is just a bonus. And yeah, with Swift Energy, if you really wanted, go speed, HP percent on slots 2, 4, 6. Once again, use them anywhere, pretty much. More for arena with this one, though. Moving on to Gorgon. No, I mean Grogan, sorry. Dark Bolt. Shoots a dark arrow at the enemy. Dark Storm. Summons a storm of darkness to attack all enemies 4 times. Each attack has a 5% chance to stun the enemy. Decimate. Attacks all enemies with the power of darkness. This skill deals 100% increased critical damage on critical hits. Leader skill. Increases the resistance of all ally monsters by 41%. Once again, if you have this one, you've got a lot of money, or you're very lucky. But with this one, it's basically a different version of Xeros. Once again, you can go Rage Blade, Fatal Blade, with attack percent, crit damage percent, attack percent on slots 2, 4, 6. If you wanted, because he's got 2 AoEs like Xeros, you can go a Despair Blade build. Once again, with attack percent, crit damage percent, attack percent on slots 2, 4, 6. It's the exact same. If I had to rate the dragons, I'd put Xeros and Varad tied with Grogan, then Zaraf, then Jameer. Jameer, I would put it last, just for the reasons that the Wind Penguin is basically a lower level version. It's easier to obtain, more players have it, and just more players use it at this current moment of the game. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you found this useful, subscribe, leave a comment down below of which monster you want me to do next. And the first comment I see will be the monster that I will do. Anyway, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.